Hello friends, in this session we are going to see the new topic, that is profit and loss. So although it is a new topic, but it is very much related with the percentage. In fact, I call this often, it is an extension of percentage. So if you understand the topic percentage and the the minute concepts inside, like percentage increase, percentage decrease, or A is what percent of B. So all those type of concept as it is replicate in profit and loss, but under different names. For example, percentage increase, as we saw there. Here, the name changes to profit percent. Percentage decrease, name changes to percent loss. So same concept have to be used, but under different names. And that is why I told you in percentage topic that if you're good at percentage, then upcoming sessions or upcoming topics you automatically find very relatable, and then you start to understand everything that is presented in front of you under different names or under different concepts, because the base is already clear. So again, I am repeating myself, please, if you are a fresher especially, and if you're targeting the challenging exams like grade B or good banking exams like SBIPO, please make sure that you spend maximum time on the basic topics like percentage, ratio, and average. Because once you're good with the basis, so everything is on top of it. So if your base is cleared, then actually you don't even require as such a help from a faculty or any guidance from books. Not like 100%, but you can rely upon yourself, because your base would be totally cleared. What you have to learn new in this topic is the terminologies and the relation between profit and loss and the percentage. That is why we are going to see first the different terminologies that we use in profit and loss. So in profit and loss, we use most importantly these terminologies. Cost price. So I hope everybody knows what cost price is. Cost price, we often denote it by CP, is the price in which buyer buys the stuff. Selling price, we denote it by SP, in which the seller sells the stuff. So for example, if I bought a stuff for 100 rupees and I sell it for 120 rupees, this becomes my cost price and this becomes my selling price. Then what is the profit? The profit is, first of all, profit happens only if selling price is greater than cost price. If you are selling for more price, then only you will have profit. Otherwise, there won't be any profit. So this is the condition for profit. And what is the formula for that is SP minus CP. Clearly, if you are selling a stuff which you bought for 100, you are selling it for 120. So there is a profit of 20 rupees. So what you did is you just calculated the difference. Similarly, if you bought an article, say for 200, and you sell it for lesser price, say 140, then you will have the loss. So loss is what? Or loss happens when cost price is greater than selling price. You bought for more price and you sell for less, then there is a loss. And the formula for which is CP minus SP. So here the loss is 60 rupees, 200 minus 140. So these few basic terminologies that we are acquainted with, because we use it in day-to-day life. We buy stuff, we sell stuff, we calculate profit and we calculate loss. But what we are not very much using in day-to-day life is profit percent and loss percent. So how do you calculate profit percent? So profit percent, first of all, can happen only if profit is there. So what is profit percentage? Profit percentage is that the profit you calculated here is what percent of the cost price. So P is what percent of CP, means P upon CP into 100. This is how you are going to calculate the profit percent. And that means 20 upon 100 into 100, that is 20%. So in this case, there is a 20% profit. So this is exactly the same thing that we saw under percentage, that percentage increase. So if 100 is becoming 120, what is the percent increase? So how you calculate? You calculate the actual increase, which is 20, upon the base value, which is 100 into 100, right? Same thing, but under different name, that is profit percent. And similarly, the loss percent is like the percent decrease, because loss percent is the loss, which is 60 in this case, is what percent of your cost price. So 60 is what percent of 200 when you calculate, that is called as the loss percent. So easily that is going to be 30%. So there is a 30% loss. So loss upon cost price into 100 is what loss percent is. So be it profit percent, be it loss percent, both are calculated as a percent of cost price only. Okay. So as we saw in case of percentage, that you don't have to take the actual figure, you can work with ratio as well. For example, if you have to calculate 100 is the price 1 of article and 120 is the price 2, or the increased price of the same article, and if somebody asks you what is the percent increase, you can just take the ratio. 0, 0 goes and the ratio comes out to be 5:6. And then you can think of that if 5 is becoming 6, what is the percent increase? There is an increase of 1 on 5. Percent increases, increase upon base value upon 100. And if you know the fraction value of 1 by 5, that is 20%. So you can say there is a 20% increase. So you don't have to deal in actual figures. You can just deal in the ratio components. So same goes here. You don't have to deal in actual numbers, because actual numbers can be little tricky or little big as well. But if you take the ratio, you can make the numbers small and they deal in the small numbers. Got this? Okay, let's see the next part of it. So now there are certain questions that we need to solve. There are very basic questions, but if you solve these basic questions, the foundation is going to be really, really good, and you can solve them big questions very, very easily. So first question says, cost price is 400, selling price is 540. What is profit percent? So as I told you, you can just deal in ratios. CP is 400, SP is 540. So you can take ratio. 0, 0 goes. And when you divide by 2, 2, it becomes 20:27. So it's as if you bought a stuff for 20 and you sold the stuff for 27. So what is the profit percent? So 20 rupee worth of stuff, if you are selling for 27, there is a profit of 7 on 20. And profit percent is profit upon cost price into 100. So 25s are 100. It becomes 35%. Hence, there is a 35% profit. Easy. Next, CP is 1300, SP is 1500. So CP is 1300, SP is 1500. What is the profit percent? Again, you can take the ratio. If 13 rupee worth of stuff, if you are selling for 15, there is a profit of 2 on 13. And if you know the fraction for 1 by 13, the fraction means, as you saw in percentage topic, you learn the fractions, right? And I told you there also that the fraction is very, very important. You learn it in the first session of percentage, but you keep using it till the last session of arithmetic. Even in some cases, quadratic equation also uses the fraction. So fraction is very, very essential. 1 by 13 had the fraction 7.7, approximately 7.7%. So 2 by 13 will have fraction as 2 times of this, which is 15.4% approximately. So you can say here the profit is 15.4%. Easy. Next one. Cost price is 1500. Profit is 30%. What is SP? So you can say, if I bought a stuff for 1500, cost price is 1500, and my profit percent is 30%. So that means you are selling your stuff 30% higher price, or you increase it by 30%. What is 10% of this? 10% is 150. So 30% is going to be 3 times, that is 450. That means you make 450 profit or you sell the article for 450 rupees more, you add 450 to it and you sell it for 1950. So the selling price is going to be 1950. Easy. Let's see next one. Cost price is 1200, SP is 960. What is loss percent? So again, you can just take the ratio. CP is 1200, SP is 960. If you take the ratio, 0, 0 goes. This is 12's 10 times. This is 12's 8 times. And then again, you can take the ratio as 5:4. So it's as if 5 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 4, because CP here is 5, SP is 4. So 5 rupee worth of stuff, if you are selling for 4, there is a loss of 1 on 5. And 1 by 5, the fraction value of which is 20%. So the answer here is going to be 20%. Friends, if you are fresher, if you are learning this for the first time, please follow everything that I have been doing. Please say this to yourself that 5 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 4, hence there is a loss of 1. Because sometimes mistake might happen. You might take the fraction as 5 by 4. But the fraction is not 5 by 4 here. Fraction is 1 by 5. So please maintain this. Next. Now, all the questions that we saw so far, cost price was given. And if cost price is given, the question is already easy, because be it profit percent, be it loss percent, they both are percentage of cost price. So if cost price is already given, you can easily calculate profit or loss. But if cost price is not given, selling price is given, then sometimes students get confused. But you don't have to get confused. It is against the same thing. It is about the percentage profit or percentage loss. If it says the profit percent is 30%, you can just make a ratio here. If profit percent is 30%, then you can say cost price if 10x. Now, why did I take 10x? Because calculating 30% of 10x is easy. If in case you require, you can take 100 as well. Here 10 would also work. So I'm taking 10x. So if 10x is the cost price, 30% is the profit. That means the profit will be 30% of it, which is 3x. So you will sell the article for 3x more, means 13x. So if selling price is given here 1560, so actual price, selling price is 1560. So you say 13x is equal to 1560. This is 12 times of it. So x becomes 120. So if x is 120, you put it here and it becomes 1200. So the cost price is 1200. Easy. And lastly, same stuff again. Selling price is 840, loss percent is 20. Loss percent is 20 means what? If cost price is 10x, loss will be 20% of it. 20% of 10x is 2x. So if you are having 2x loss, that means you are selling the article for 8x. And if that value of selling price is given 840, that means x is equal to 1 times 0 times 5 times. X is 105. This time they are asking what is loss in rupees. They are not asking what is cost price. They are asking what is loss. So you can see loss here is 2x. Just put the value of x is equal to 105. So that becomes 210. So the answer here will be 210. Easy. So if you find this topic difficult, just revise this basic question or these type of questions again and again. Then only you will find the bigger questions really comfortable. Okay. Let's see the next type of the questions. So if SP is to CP is 8 is to 7, what is profit percent? So as we just discussed, you don't require even as actual values. Ratio even works. So you can just say CP if 7, SP if 8. So 7 rupees stuff, if you're selling it for 8, there is a profit of 1 on 7. So 1 by 7 into 100 if you do. If you know the fraction of 1 by 7 already from the percentage topic, you can just say it is 14.28%. And hence the profit will be 14.28%. And that is why the fractions are very, very important, friends. Easy. Let's see next type. Now, sometimes what happens is the question, rather than in this form, the question could be in this form, like this. Selling price of 5 pence is equal to cost price of 4 pence. What is profit or loss percent? Selling price of 5 pence is equal to cost price of 4 pence. What is profit or loss percent? First, we have to decide whether there is a profit or loss in this transaction because the language is totally different. So imagine you bought 4 pence because the cost price of 4 pence it said. So you bought 4 pence for certain price and you sell 5 pence for the same price. That means you add 1 pen from your pocket and then you sell 5 pence for the same price. So definitely there will be loss because you are adding 1 pen from your own side. So there is definitely loss. So now you have to calculate how much loss percent is there. So if you solve this question by considering or analyzing, it might take little time, because if you say cost price of 1 pen say is 100, any figure you can take because it is about the percentage. So you can take 100. Now you are buying 4 pence. So cost price of 4 pence is going to be 400 rupees. Now for the same 400 rupees, you are selling 5 pence. That means selling price of 5 pence is 400 rupees. So then what is the selling price of 1 pen? Because you are selling 5 pence for 400. That means you are selling 1 pen for 400 by 5. That is 80 rupees. So the 1 pen that you bought for 100, ultimately if you are selling it for 80, that means there is a loss of 20 on 100. So loss percent, how you calculate? Loss upon cost price into 100. Hence, there is 20% loss. There is a 20% loss. But if you do it like this, that is totally unnecessary. We learned the ratio part of it. So you can just solve this question with the help of ratio. So you have to write 5 SP is equal to 4 CP, because selling price of 4 pence is equal to, selling price of 5 pence is equal to cost price of 4 pence. So you write 5 SP is equal to 4 CP. And then you turn it into the ratio form. So you write SP upon CP is equal to 4 upon 5. And then again, you can just say that 5 rupee worth of stuff, if you are selling for 4, there is a loss of 1 on 5. And the fraction of 1 by 5 being 20%, there is a loss of 20%. As you can see it here. Easy. So all such question you should be able to solve with the help of ratio and not analyzing. This is what we used to do in school days. But in competitive exam, neither you have the time nor you have the patience to do it this way. Okay. So go with the ratio method. Another form of same type of question could be now this. Like the question here. Just focus on the first question. By selling 5 pence, there is a profit of selling price of 2 pence. What is profit percent? So this question also you can solve it by analyzing, but that will be really, really tricky. So what you do for these type of question is you form the basic profit and loss equation. What is profit? Profit is in terms of selling price and cost price. Profit is selling price minus cost price. If there is a profit, that means selling price is greater than cost price. So profit is selling price minus cost price. So you write in terms of selling price it as CP plus P. In your cost price, you add profit and you sell the stuff for SP. So CP plus P is SP. But if there is a loss, that means CP minus SP. So again, you can write it in terms of SP as CP minus L. You subtract the loss from your cost price and you sell the article. So selling price is CP minus L. So we use these type of equations to solve these questions. Now focus friends, the language in these question is little different. The previous question was selling price of 5 pence is equal to cost price of 4 pence. But here the language is by selling 5 pence, there is a profit of selling price of. So you already are told there is a profit of selling price of 2 pence. So if you know there is a profit, you are going to use the first equation, which is profit equation. And you don't have to think much. You just have to write in this term. By selling 5 pence, it says. So instead of this SP, you will write 5 SP is equal to, you will write 5 CP plus. Because what this statement basically means is your entire selling price is equal to your entire cost price plus your profit. So if you are doing transaction of 5 pence or you are selling the 5 pence, so the selling price of those 5 pence will be equal to cost price of those 5 pence plus profit. And how much is the profit in terms of be it SP, be it CP? It doesn't matter. You just have to keep writing this equation. So how much is the profit? Instead of this profit, you will write there is a profit of selling price of 2 pence. Selling price of 2 pence means 2 SP. And then this goes in this side. It becomes 3 SP is equal to 5 CP. And then again, you can write in terms of ratio like this. And then you can say if CP is 3, SP is 5, that means 3 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 5. There is a profit of 2 on 3. So this much percent profit, and the fraction value of 2 by 3 is 66.66%. Hence, there is a profit of 66.66%. So all such question, you have those questions in practice sessions. So all such question with these kind of language, you can solve with the help of ratio. Let's do one more question like this. This time it says, now I'll tell you again the shortest way to do this. Now even you don't have to think this all. Whenever you see the language like buy selling 9 pence, directly write 9 SP is equal to 9 CP. The first move should be this 9 SP is equal to 9 CP, and then you check whether there is a profit or loss. If there is a loss, you write minus. And how much loss? Selling price of 3 pence. So you write 3 SP. Now this SP goes this side and makes it 12 SP is equal to 9 CP. And then you can again write SP upon CP is equal to 9 upon 12. Dividing it by 3 makes it 3 upon 4. And then you can again analyze 4 rupee worth of stuff. You are selling it for 3. That means there is a loss of 1 on 4. That makes this as a 25% loss. 25% loss. 1 by 4 is 25%. Easy? So, first of all, please understand, if you are targeting the exam like RBI Grade B, they of course are never going to ask you typical questions like this. But the importance of typical question is only with the help of typical question, you get to know or you get your basis clear so that you can solve the challenging questions. Okay, let's see the next type. Now, so the ratio based question, of course, we'll have practice for these type of questions. But now let's move on to the next type where you have to deal with the questions with 2 articles, selling and buying of 2 articles. In this case, it says cost price of 2 cows are equal. One is sold at 10% profit, another is sold at 10% loss. What is the overall profit or loss percent? So what you can do is you can consider the cost price of first cow is 100 rupees. So the cost price of second cow will also be 100 rupees because cost price of 2 cows are equal. First cow, you are selling it for 10% profit. So that means you are adding 10% and you are selling it for 110 rupees. The second cow, you are selling for 10% loss. That means you are selling it for 10% less. Selling price of second cow will be 10% less, means 90 rupees. So both the cow together we bought for 200 rupees and both the cows we together sold for 200 rupees. So if 200 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 200, there is 0% profit. That means no profit, no loss. So you can make a note for these kind is if cost price of first article is equal to cost price of second article is equal to cost price of third article, or how much ever articles are there, cost price of another article. If cost price of all the articles are same, first is sold at P1% profit, second is sold for P2% profit, third is sold for P3% profit. Similarly, another article is sold for P(n% profit, then the overall profit percent will be average of all profit percentages. Average of all profit percentages. So if first cow is sold for 10%, second is sold for 20%, 30%. So then you just have to take the average of 10, 20, 30. So how to take the average? Average is sum of the observations divided by the number of observations. So if first is sold for say 10% profit, second is sold for 20% profit, third is sold for 30% profit, then overall profit percent will be 10 plus 20 plus 30 upon 3, because there are 3 cows. So divided by 3, if I just take the 3 for the example, and that will come out to be 20. So overall there will be 20% profit. In this question, if you have to use the same concept, first you have to check whether the cost price are equal or not. So yes, the cost price is equal. Then only you have to apply this. So first is sold for 10% profit. So you will take plus 10 because there is a profit. Second is sold for 10% loss. So you will take minus 10 for second. And you will calculate average of these two figures. So sum of observations, this plus this upon number of observations, which is 2. So overall profit will be 10 minus 10, that is 0% profit. So 0% profit. Okay. So if exact same language is there in any question where cost prices are equal, so you just have to take the average. You don't have to do this. But if you solve by basic method, or if you understand the question well and you solve by not thinking much and go with the natural flow, that is also very good. So I don't always like the knowing the formulas behind or knowing the tricks behind. If you're going with your natural instinct, just what I want you to do is not to take weird figure and not to make the question literally critical, not take many variables, not take fractions. If you're going with simple figures and still solving questions easily, because RBI is the exam where you have time. It is not some banking exam where the cutoff is that high that you have to solve at least 30 questions in 20 minutes. It is not the case. In RBI Grade B, you have to solve only certain number of questions to clear the cutoff. And that is why you can go with your own speed. Just make sure that you are comfortable while solving. For one question, you are not putting every cell of your brain, and then for the next question, you are already brain dead there. Okay, don't fall in that situation. That is what I'm expecting out of you. Okay, let's see the different type, another type from this 2 article type of question. Now there, cost prices were equal. Here, the selling prices are equal. So if it says selling price of 2 cows are equal, one is sold at 10% profit, another is sold at 10% loss, what is the overall profit or loss percent? Yes, there is a trick. There is a short trick for same type of question, but that short trick is very question specific, situation specific. If exact same situation comes, then only you can use the short trick. I'll tell you that later. First, let's see the normal method, because if something different is asked, if that figure changes, let's say to 20, then short trick won't be useful. So that is why let's stick with the basic method. See, friends, be it profit percent, be it loss percent, they are always calculated on cost price. But here, what given is selling prices are equal. So you can't say cost price are 100 and 100 because selling prices are equal. Cost prices are not equal. If you take cost price of one as 100, then another you will have to take something else. And then you find this very, very tricky. But we are not going to take any other figure. We're still going to take cost prices as 100. But because cost prices are not equal, we'll take this time this as 100x and cost price of second as 100y. So we still take in terms of 100, 100, But because we have associated variables, that makes those not equal. First cow you sold at 10% profit. So if 100x worth of stuff you are selling for 10% profit, that means you are selling it for 110x. Another you are selling for 10% loss, that means you are selling it for 90y. Can I say these two are equal? Yes, because selling prices are equal. So this should be equal to this. So 110x if equal to 90y, that gets us x upon y is equal to 90 upon 110. This ratio is very, very important for all such questions where selling prices are equal, because this ratio is nothing but the ratio between the cost prices. If I ask you, what is the ratio between cost price 1 and cost price 2? So you will say 100x upon 100y. 100 can get cancelled. What remains is x upon y. And that is what we have now. So this is nothing but the ratio of cost price 1 and cost price 2. That means we can start again the situation considering the cost price 1 as 90 and cost price 2 as 110. So you say cost price of first cow is 90, cost price of second cow is 110. So the selling price of first cow will be, you are selling it for 10% profit. So 10% added to 90 becomes 99. And selling price of second cow is 10% loss. So sell it for 10% less than this. 10% of this is 11. So 11 subtracted, it becomes 99. But you don't have to calculate for the second because it says selling price of both are equal. So if first selling price is 99, second normally or naturally has to be 99. You don't have to calculate for that. And now you can say both the cows are bought for 200 rupees. Both the cows are sold for 99 plus 99. That is 198 rupees. So 200 worth of stuff. If you are selling for 198, there is a loss of 2 on 200. And that means there is a loss upon cost price in 200. That is 1% loss. 1% loss. But friends, for exact situation like this, if selling price 1 is equal to selling price 2, if first is sold at profit, another is sold at loss, and whatever the profit percent here, let's say R percent profit, is the same loss percent here, R percent loss, then only this short trick will work. Then there is a loss of R square upon 100%. So in this question, everything falls into the place because selling prices are equal. First is sold at profit, another is sold at loss. Profit percent is equal to loss percent, that is equal to 10. So then you say there is always loss of R square upon 100% means 10 square upon 100%, that is 100 upon 100, 1% loss. There is always loss of 1%. In this case, there will be loss of 1%. Now, apart from this, there is one more formula which I find totally useless, because that formula, first of all, it is really tricky to remember, and plus it only handy in case of 2 articles. What if there are multiple articles? Then again it is problematic. So what the formula says is, if selling price of first article is equal to selling price of second article, first is sold at X% profit, another is sold at Y% profit, then there is a always profit of 100 times of X plus Y plus 2XY upon 100 plus X plus 100 plus Y. This is the resultant or overall profit percent. As I said, first of all, it is really tricky to remember at time of exam. Even if one figure, if you make here and there, if you consider this 100xy plus 2x plus y, it is really going to make mess. So if you are good at remembering formula, then only go with this. Otherwise, not at all need to go with the formula. So how to use the formula in this case? Selling price 1 is equal to selling price 2. Yes. First is sold at 10% profit. So put X is equal to plus 10. But second is sold at 10% loss. So put Y is equal to minus 10 because there is a loss. So put X and Y's value as 10 and minus 10 here. That will get us 100 times of 10 plus minus 10 plus 2 times of 10 into minus 10 upon 100 plus 10 plus 100 minus 10. So now you know this 10 minus 10 is 0. So this entire part will get cancelled. 2 into 10 into minus 10 is minus 200 upon this 10 and 10 will get cancelled. So 100 plus 100 is 200. Minus 200 upon 200 is minus 1. So there is always this much percent profit. In this case, there will be profit. This is the formula for profit percent. But because the sign is minus here, that sign tells you there will be loss. This profit that you are getting is into negative terms. So it is a loss of 1%. Okay, so this is how the formula is to be used. But I don't recommend this formula at all. It is not a good way to memorize every formula for every situation, especially if you are targeting good exam like RBI Grade B, because then you'll have to memorize, say, 100 formula at least. There are lots and lots of formula. There are time speed distance formula. There are time and work formula. There is average speed formula. There will be formulas in mensurations. There will be different formulas in geometry, in quadratic equation. So how many formulas you are planning to remember? You can't remember everything, especially if you are learning other subjects, important subjects like general knowledge and other subjects required for RBI grade. So don't rely upon formulas, stick with basics, stick with understanding of the concept rather than memorizing everything. Okay. Let's see another type of the questions. So far we have seen the questions related to the profit and loss, where the plain transaction is being done. Like you buy the stuff and you sell the stuff for certain more. But actual transaction or actual business doesn't happen like this. There is a concept called as discount. So let's introduce discount into this picture, how the discount works. So friends, imagine I have a shirt which I bought for 100 rupees. I'm a businessman. I bought a shirt for 100 rupees. So that becomes the cost price for me. So for cost price for me is 100 rupees. Now, as a businessman, I want to attract the customer. So I'll give the discount. So I painted a fancy board which says 20% discount. But if I put that board here itself on this shirt, I'll have to sell the shirt for 20% less. So I'll have to sell the shirt for 80 rupees, which will cause me loss. As a businessman, loss is a crime. You can't afford that. So you use that board, but after increasing the price of it. So you increase the price first. We call that as a markup. So you mark up it by certain percent. Let's say I mark it up by 50%. So if you increase the price by 50%, that price, which is 150 now, is called as the mark price. Mark price, list price, labeled price, MRP, all mean same. Okay, all mean same. Basically, this is the price, like as we say, hathi ke daat, dikhane ke. Neither the shopkeeper buys in this price, neither the customer buys in this price. This is just the price to show, because shopkeeper is going to give you discount on this price. Now the 20% discount board that we made, we are going to put here. So that means we are going to give discount of 20% on this price. What is 20% of 150? 10% will be 15. So 20% will be 30. So you sell the article for 30 rupees less. So the selling price of the article ultimately becomes 120. So eventually 100 rupee worth of stuff, if you are selling for 120, that means you are increasing the price with 20%. And hence that is called as the profit percent. Profit percent is what? Your selling price is what percent more than your cost price. If you're making profit of 20 rupees here on 100 rupees, so profit percent will be 20%. So first of all, one must understand this cycle of discount, because this as it is cycle tells you what is the base for what. For example, markup. When you do markup by a certain percent, so when I say markup is 20%, 30%, 50%. So for 30%, 50% of what? that arrow tells you of cost price. So base for markup percent is going to be cost price. But the discount that you give, it is on mark price. You reduce this with 20%. So base for discount percent is mark price. And base for profit percent, as we know already, is again cost price. Because the profit percent is calculated on cost price. So this figure, if you understand very well, then you can solve so many of the tricky questions, especially very, very conveniently. So how do you look at it is selling price is same for one entire transaction. Selling price is same because shopkeeper sells the stuff to a shop customer at one single price. That selling price from cost price side is P% more. So you increase the cost price with P% and you arrive at selling price. But the same selling price from mark price side is D% less than the mark price. You decrease the mark price with D% and you arrive at the selling price. Easy? So either you look at it like this, or you can see what we did is we took the price 100. We first increase it with 50%. It became 150. Then we decreased it with 20% and it became 120. And then we check that what is the resultant change from 100 to 120. And that is 20% increase. And we say that is the profit. So if you have seen the percentage video, you must be aware, or you must recall, this is exactly the successive percent change. Because you change the number twice, 2 times, first with 50% increase, then with 20% decrease. And the successive percent change formula is, if this is A, this is B, then the successive percent change formula was A plus B plus AB upon 100. But here, we amend it a little bit. We have to calculate this part here. What is the resultant change, which we call profit percent? Should be resultant of A and B here. But because this is the markup, which will always be positive, and this is the discount, which is always negative. Discount means always a percent decrease. So that is why we change this formula with the signs as well. So we write is profit percent is equal to markup minus discount minus markup discount upon 100. So if you are given the markup percent as 50% and discount percent as 20%, and if you are asked what is the resultant profit percent, you just have to put the figures here. So you say markup is 50, discount is 20. So 50 minus 20 minus 50 into 20 upon 100. Solve this, you will get 20%. So resultantly, the profit is going to become 20%. So this formula also can be used, but problem with formula is all the figures should be given in terms of percentage. So PMD, everything should be given in terms of percentage. Then only the formula can be used. Otherwise, formula is no use for you. Basics only will be useful then. Okay. One more method is there, which is called as chain rule, but we'll see that in case of faulty weights and dishonest shopkeeper, the type of the question they can ask in RBI. Okay, let's see one odd question of this, and then we'll see the faulty weights and dishonest shopkeeper. Okay, this is the question. It says, at what percent above the cost price Atul mark his goods so that he gains 20% after giving a discount of 25%. So because the figures are already provided in terms of percentage, it is easy to use the formula in this case. Gain means profit percent. So profit percent is 20% and discount percent is 25%. They're asking at what percent above the cost price must Atul mark his good. That means they're asking what is markup percent. So the formula that we just saw was profit is equal to markup minus discount minus markup discount upon 100. Profit is 20. Markup we have to calculate. Discount is 25 minus m into 25 upon 100. This 25 4s are 100. 25 goes that side, makes it 45. And then it becomes 4m minus m, 3m upon 4. And then 3 is 15 times is 45. And then m becomes 15 into 4, that is 60%. So the markup is 60%. So if you kind of analyze this, it is like the price say 100 rupees. He marks up with 60%. So the price becomes 160. And then he gives discount of 25%. What is 25% of 160? 25% is 1/4, that is 40. So he gives discount of 40. So he sells for 120. So can I say if he sells article worth 100 for 120, there will be profit of 20%? Yes, and that is what it says here. There should be profit of 20%. That means 60% is the markup. So the answer is going to be none of these. Easy. Let's see one more such question. Okay, let's see this one. It says Ramesh gained 20% on the cost price after giving discount of 10% on the mark price of the PP kit. If profit on the PP kit is 90 rupees, find the mark price of the PP kit. So you know already the profit percent is 20% and the profit is 90 rupees. So if I say the cost price is say 10x, so the profit is going to be 20% of it because profit is 20%. So 2x will be the profit, which is given as 90 rupees. That makes x is equal to 45. That means the cost price is 450 rupees. Cost price is 450 rupees. They are saying you are making profit of 90 rupees. That means the selling price is going to be 450 plus 90. Selling price is what? Cost price plus profit. That makes it 540 rupees. Now this selling price you arrive when you give discount of 10% on the mark price. So whatever the mark price is, when you give 10% discount, that means if you reduce it with 10%, you have to sell the article for 540. So which is the option? If you decrease it with 10%, gives you 540, you should be directly able to get it 600 because 600, when you decrease by 10%, which is 60, gives you 540. But if you can't solve it like this, then you have to take another variable. Say mark price is Y. Y when you reduce by 10%, that means you calculate 90% of Y. 90% of Y should be equal to 540 rupees. That makes Y is equal to 600. You can just solve this. So mark price will be 600 rupees. Basically, we are discussing if you reduce the mark price by 10%, that means 90% of the mark price should be the selling price, which is 540. Easy. Now let's see the last concept of this topic, which is very, very important for RBI Grade B exams and some other good central government exams. That is the dishonest shopkeeper and faulty weights type of questions. I have a very good trick to discuss with you. So first of all, if they ask the question from faulty weights or dishonest shopkeeper, the questions will be really, really easy. They are not going to be tricky. But still, we'll see the trick with the help of which you can solve even the trickiest question very, very comfortably and conveniently. In the practice session, of course, we'll see more questions on it. Right now, let's see the basic questions. The statement is a faulty weight shows a faulty weighing machine shows 1000 gram for 800 grams. This is the statement. So what is profit percent for shopkeeper? This is the statement or the question. So if you try to analyze it, what exactly happening is you go to the shopkeeper and he has this faulty weighing machine which shows 1000 gram for 800 gram. That means if this is the machine and this is the display of it, on which if you put 800 gram, if you put the 800 gram worth of weight upon it, it shows that this is 1000 gram. It shows 1000 gram for 800 gram means the display shows that it is 1000 gram. So what is the profit percent for shopkeeper? This is the question. So now let's say you go to the shopkeeper and you ask for 1000 gram sugar. And let's say the price for sugar is 1 rupee per gram. 1 rupee per gram. So the shopkeeper puts 800 gram sugar on the machine and the machine shows it is 1000. He parcels it for you and you are carrying that 800 gram home, thinking that this is 1000 gram. So you paid him 1000 rupees obviously because 1 rupees per gram. So 1000 gram means you paid the shopkeeper 1000 rupees. But the material that you are taking home is only 800 gram. That means the shopkeeper paid only 800 rupees for that material. So that becomes the cost price for the shopkeeper because it costed the shopkeeper only 800 rupees. But you paid 1000 rupees to the shopkeeper. That becomes the selling price for him. So ultimately, he sold you 800 worth of stuff for 1000. That means he made profit of 200 rupees on 800. So what is the profit percent? Profit percent is profit upon cost price into 100. And that if you calculate is 25%. Hence, there will be 25% profit to the shopkeeper. But these type of questions, if you keep solving, analyzing everything, then might become little tricky because this is not the only form of cheating a shopkeeper can do. Shopkeeper can mix the stuff. Shopkeeper can increase the price. And then after doing so many scenes, if his conscience gets up and then he tries to give you discount, then that also could affect the ultimate profit percent. So everything if comes into the picture, then what to do? We'll see more of those questions in our practice exercise. Right now, I'll just tell you how to solve those questions. Those questions can be solved using chain rule. So chain rule is a concept, or you can just see it as a short trick. So because it is a short trick, you just have to follow the process without thinking much. So what you do is, on the left hand side, you have to write SP upon CP. So in these type of questions, the left hand side will always be SP upon CP. And on the right hand side, you have to write whatever the processes are happening or whatever the weights, those are mentioned here. You just have to write side by side without thinking much. Just in first go, just write them side by side. Then think whether there is a profit or loss in this process. There is a profit for shopkeeper in this process. So if there is a profit, that means the selling price should be more than the cost price. So the bigger figure should go up and the smaller figure should come down like this. That gives you the ratio of SP upon CP, which is nothing but 5 upon 4. And you know, once the ratio is calculated of SP and CP, you just have to think ultimately 4 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 5. That means there is a profit of 1 on 4 and fraction value of 1 by 4 is 25%. Hence, there is a 25% profit. Easy? So yes, we'll see more variety for this kind. But if in exam the question comes, the question can be as small as this only. Rarely they ask the question on this. RBI grade B might ask, because this is a RBI grade B is kind of changing the pattern to some difficult exams like CAT or some challenging exams like this. So we are expecting good challenging questions on this concept as well. We'll see some good challenging questions, some previous year questions in the exercise video. So I hope you got every concept. Just revise all the theories that we have discussed and then be ready for good challenging questions. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.